Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Report of any executive sessions.
None held.
Public comment. You want to start with the point and count thing, or you want to do public comment first? Let's do the point and count thing first. Okay, George. Sorry, George.
That's okay.
He's running to get down here.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean Frankenstein, I'm the Housing Coordinator of Service Access Management and also Chair of our Local Housing Options Team. With me is Jeanette Anderson, who's the Executive Director of Service Law. We are here to talk about our yearly point in time count. The point in time count, to explain to everyone, is a HUD mandated count that takes place on the fourth Wednesday night of the year. And we go out and we try to count the sheltered, unsheltered homelessness, individuals that are counting that are homeless. Now, the definition of the two, the shelter count is temporary shelter. So individuals who are paid for, like just say at a motel, for a charitable organization, someone in our various shelters throughout the county, Schuylkill Hope Center. But what we focus on is the unsheltered count. Now, the unsheltered count is, as a definition through HUD, which is harsher than other homeless definitions. This does not include couch surfers. We are trying to count the individuals who are in places not meant for human habitation. So you would think a tent, someone sleeping in a car, an abandoned building without utilities. So we get together a group of individuals. Schuylkill County is very blessed to have so many people that are willing to volunteer for this. Every year we have around 75 to 100 volunteers through dozens of organizations in our county. This year we're helped out by Catholic Charities. They have a food truck that they serve in a couple of our locations. Through our local housing options team, through myself, Jeanette, Elaine's also on our point in time count core team that runs our LHOT. We developed 16 different teams that went out throughout the county. We had 3 street teams that literally went place to place on the night of the 22nd, the 23rd, and 24th. We also had 3 service sites. Those sites, either they serve a meal through the food trucks, we partner with local organizations that give out free things. Each site we talk to people as they come in, talk to them about their housing situation, what's going on in their life, if they need help, and if they identify that they slept in a place not meant for human habitation. We don't ask that directly, of course, but we count them. We also had 3 outreach teams that call different 24-hour locations to get leads on individuals that might be able to count. So, over these 3 nights, we have 75 to 100 individuals at service locations, going out, meeting with people where they are in our county, and we're also just calling organizations. So this year we had 15 counted or unsheltered. Those are individuals living in places not meant for human habitation on the night of Wednesday, January 22nd. We interviewed 13 of these individuals, and we also used 2 observation forms. Our 2 observations forms, we had 2 individuals disclose to a worker that they slept in a place not meant for human habitation, but they did not want to complete the interview form. Also throughout these sites, we give out small resources to people, like $10 gift cards to people that can use them. This is not just meant for people who are literally unsheltered, but just for people that could help them out in their time of need. We gave out probably around $800 in gift cards just to certain individuals. And so these numbers that we generate do not tell the complete picture of homelessness in our county. These are 15 individuals who slept in a place not meant for human habitation. Those are the most in need in our county. For our shelter count, we don't run the shelter count, but we also, Jeanette submits shelter data for that count. We can tell you that our shelter count was way up from last year, probably by 20, 30 individuals. Those individuals we report in a different manner than we do the unsheltered, but they all get combined in a report that comes out about April of every year through HUD. So in April, we'll have an actual report of data that any organization or county can use to prove homelessness through the efforts of the people in our community. Again, I want to go over the definition of homelessness. For this count, it's only in a place not meant for human habitation or someone staying in a motel. Other organizations, through say the McKinney-Vento Act, they count individuals who are just doubled up, staying with in certain situations, so it doesn't, this count paints the picture of the most in need in our county. It is not a complete picture of homelessness or what needs in our county. We certainly have people that are always doubled up, people staying with other individuals who are not on lease, couch surfing for lack of better terms. But this is just a count that is the most needy in our county. And Elaine?
I just want to make sure that people know that under the McKinney-Vento Act, we have 217 families, students that are not home or housed. They're doubled up, they're living out of other areas, but because of the way the definition is, it doesn't show the full picture. So the number of individuals that are not housed in Schuylkill County is much higher, and for me and for a lot of us, the 217 students or families with students is extremely high. I think it's important to know that.
The only other thing I'll add to what Sean said, the shelter count was significantly higher this year. The week of the point in time count, the weather actually dropped below 5, I think it was -5 one night. So servant stalls particularly, I'm just gonna speak on our behalf. Normally, we have about 17 people in shelter. Our shelter was completely filled that night, and we actually issued 19 vouchers to motels for other individuals, so they would not be in that freezing cold temperature. So you could tell, one reason our unsheltered count was significantly lower than we would have expected is because so many people were actually being temporarily housed. So in our organization alone, I think we had 38 people in shelter that night.
Now, do you take that in consideration in your number of people that are unsheltered, living in a place that's not fit for human habitation?
If someone,
Because you're telling me your numbers are skewed from your count, so does that, you counted 15, but you're saying you had people.
the people who were given shelter do not count as unsheltered. So it's unsheltered is 15, plus.
So then your numbers skew.
It is,
Yeah,
Because
but they,
it was done on such a cold night,
They were sheltered for one night.
they were sheltered for one night
Next
only,
they were back
or
out.
2 nights only, so that number then inherently is skewed. So how do we get an accurate count? Is there a way to redo this when it's warmer out, so we can have an accurate account of who is homeless, how many homeless we have in Schuylkill County?
Larry, I'll add to that.
Okay.
There are some counties that do a summer point in time count. We're not required. HUD requires one time a year that we do the annual one. But there are some counties that do that periodically. They'll do it in the summer months as well. The one thing I will clarify, we as a point in time count team are only required to do unsheltered, but we report these numbers to our COC that reports it to HUD. They combine unsheltered and sheltered together to give an actual number. So that is the number that will end up going to HUD, but it's broken down into 2 parts, unsheltered and sheltered. So all of those people, regardless, are considered homeless for that report. It's just a matter of how, it's determined as unsheltered or sheltered. But there is possibility of doing summer, not required by HUD. So I don't know how much engagement or involvement you'll get. I think in our county, we would probably get a substantial group of people that would be willing to do that, but that's definitely something that Elaine, Sean, and I can talk about in the LHOT team to see if they would be interested.
That's something I would like to consider.
I think it's a great idea.
Are you looking, if you're looking for a total, as close as we can get to a total combo, I'm just thinking, Salvation Army isn't here, and they also give out vouchers. So if you're looking for that, we would need to include all of our team members here and everybody that gives out vouchers to be able to get a better picture. It would never be 100% true picture, right? But it would be a better picture if we included others that also gives out vouchers. We don't count what Salvation Army does in regards to vouchers.
Okay, but that's something I would like to explore, because I think with it being so cold and just listening to what you have to say, and even Elaine saying, I don't think 15's an accurate number.
And the one thing I will just share from my experience, the past 8 years that I've been at Servants to All, the numbers of homelessness in the summer are significantly higher than they are in the winter. And that I contribute to a lot of people are empathetic, and they will let individuals come into their home on a super cold night where the next night if it warms up, they're like, we need to leave now. So the numbers in the winter tend to be a little bit lower, even though these are probably the highest numbers we've ever seen.
This is the highest number you've seen in the winter, 15?
Yeah.
And you would also change
15
it.
unsheltered.
Unsheltered,
are
you know, what I'm
highest.
saying, is this your highest that you've seen unsheltered in areas unfit for human habitation? Is this one of your highest years?
I would say it's the highest of sheltered and unsheltered
Okay.
together.
Yeah, just, what we've seen over the past 3 or 4 years is we've gone 1 or 2 lower per unsheltered count, but our sheltered has gone up like 2 or 3 times that. So we're doing a good job of providing temporary shelter, but we still do have unsheltered individuals that are slow, well, we're getting those unsheltered individuals in temporary situations.
Okay.
Do you guys have a sheltered number this year?
Well,
The-
for,
The sheltered number, is provided to HUD through different agencies, not ours. I can tell you the unsheltered, but they are gonna get a report from different agencies of the unsheltered, and they make up that report and they release it probably around April of every year.
yeah, it's the
So
city
since I wasn't
official
directly
one.
involved with that, I can't give you that number.
Larry, do you count tents as a shelter?
No.
If you don't count tents as a shelter, then your count, I can tell you, is way, way off.
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
There are
way off.
people, sadly, there are people that live in tents for some reason or another. They want to stay off the grid. And, you know, unfortunately, we can provide the resources to them. We can give them information, we can offer services, but if they choose not to, for whatever reason, you know, I agree with you. We know of multiple campsites throughout Schuylkill County. And these individuals, we talk to them on a regular basis with street outreach. They come into our building for supportive services, but they do not want to go into shelter.
You know why? They're afraid of, the agencies, they're afraid of government situations, they're just afraid that they're gonna make fools out of them, and if they have anything valuable on them, they think the government's gonna take it off of them. I can tell you straight out, I've
Well,
talked to
George,
plenty of people.
George, some people have to have self-responsibility
Sure, I
once in a
agree
while
with you.
in their lives.
Yes. I
We
agree.
cannot force people into programs if they will not agree to help.
I
We
realize.
do not have that ability to do that, so let them finish with their
And
presentation.
I still say though, 15
Well,
people.
did you just, George, did you hear what I asked them to do?
Yes, I did,
Okay,
okay, but I'm just saying, all right?
so.
Any other questions for Sean?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Now I know everything first. George Stankovich, Palo Alto, speaking for the veterans and the senior citizens, and I'll even include the homeless people. I'm telling you that I know that that's way off base. I don't care what anybody tells me, I know there's people, hey, there's veterans that won't take help. I realize that, I know that, and everybody here knows that. But we have to realize that these people are hurting, these people are, and now with this new assessment that's gonna come out, and I guarantee you, and that's another thing I wanna ask you then, but this assessment that's gonna come out, you wanna take a toll after that, because months after that this assessment goes in effect, and people have to, all their taxes are gone up now, if you didn't notice, that 2.5% that my wife and I got both is gone. It's gone already, and we didn't even get anywhere. It's fuel, everything's going up, and these tariffs that are going up, if you don't think the prices of oil and gas and everything's gonna go up, you're foolish, you're foolish. Don't sit there on your hands, start complaining now. If you're not hurting, you know somebody in your family, friends, neighbors are hurting. And this is ridiculous. This is the United States of America. This is not a Republican country, this is not a Democratic country, this is a country for the people, the freedom that we deserve. And if you work your life, and all of a sudden the taxes and all this other garbage is going on, and you lose your home, that's a sin. That is a sin. And I hope these politicians are gonna meet their maker and wonder why they're not gonna have a home. It's gonna be something else when it happens to them. This is ridiculous. I am for anybody that's hurting, a person that comes into the senior center down here in Pottsville is never turned away, never. And I know there's other associations, Salvation Army is fantastic for these people. We lose food kitchens and everything that were helping these people, and now they're really suffering. They're suffering so much. I don't know what these people have to hear. I've been here over 2 years arguing these points. And this assessment is a waste of time. If you have the money to pay, good for you. If you're making $80,000 a year or $60,000 a year, I guess you're not hurting. But ask somebody that's only making $15,000, $20,000, or $25,000 a year and have to provide food for their families. I'm telling you, this is nuts. March 26th is Pottsville's assessment thing, I think.
I believe so, whatever the list is, yeah.
And where's it gonna be, at the high school again?
Yeah, I think they're scheduling it all.
Okay. It didn't mention that in the paper, but that's what I
We
assumed.
provided a whole list, I handed it to Mr. Sullivan, or Jeff, did I give you, I gave it to Jeff, and they're posting it.
They're gonna be in the high school auditoriums, except over at Tamaqua. They're gonna be in the middle school cafeteria.
Yeah, I just assumed that's where it was gonna be.
So it's all the schools.
Yeah,
because
that's where it was
it's
last
7
time.
PM, right?
Yes.
7 PM, and it's, well, so it's
And I'm telling you,
North Schuylkill, Pottsville, Pine Grove, Tamaqua, Blue Mountain.
I'm telling you, people, get off your hands, get off your back ends, and speak up for your family and friends. This is the time to speak up. Don't be afraid. This is what these people are in here for, to help us, not to help themselves. This is ridiculous. I'm tired of it. You're driving Pottsville. Where's this money going? These streets are terrible. Okay, and I'm telling you.
George, Pottsville's a different meeting.
Yeah, okay. It's just a terrible
I get the
situation.
potholes too.
Okay.
Jeff?
The lady wants to next.
Yeah, we usually go in an order.
We have assigned time there.
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
Jeff Dongle, Palo Alto, still no update on the Stevens report from Mike.
Yeah,
He said he would get back to me,
okay.
complimenting that. Again, Ms. Gaffney's not here, about her FMLA claim, which she cannot legally do. Last year, for those that are here today, which is a good attendance that aren't aware, she was in the building less than 100 hours with a salary and benefits package of over $100,000. Frauding the taxpayers at its finest, so she has yet to come and explain her situation, and I'm not sure why there's not an investigation done on her to implement an impeachment. The Public Works in the agenda, we have a quote, $285 or more. Are we just doing open-ended deals now in contracts, or is there a cap on things? I just wanted to see about that. The coal lands, I see you're restricting biosolids, which is a great start there. And is there more fees now on the schedule, Larry, for the coal lands?
Is there more what?
Is there more money being generated with the fee schedule for the coal lands?
With the leases, yeah, when it goes into effect, as the leases are renewed,
Okay,
that's being put on at $6 per ton.
okay.
Right, Kyle? Is it when leases renew, or did we do a blanket? I'm not 100% sure.
So leases will renew at the end of this month, and then the first payment will go into effect for April, so the May payment will see the increase of the lease price.
That's across the board then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. The 911 collaboration, if you can explain that one done, Larry, maybe?
When we get to it.
Give us some more insight, because it's hard for the average person to understand that. The designee contracts that are online that we're not privy to in the agenda here. 7 of the 10 say that they were approved on February 18th. Who approves them on February 18th?
The county administrator.
Okay, that is correct. Then, can I ask how Mr. Bender could approve 3 of them on December 27th of 2025, when that's 9 months ahead of time?
Which ones are you talking about?
He's talking about the 3 last for the prison. It's a typo, it says 2025.
Okay, so
That's all that is.
okay. But then all 10 of them are being backdated again. We were stopping last year.
Well, the reason these ones were that they were for work that was already performed. The work was performed and they were left off the agendas by accident. Am I correct on that one, Gary?
Beg your pardon?
These ones were for work that was already performed and they were left off a few of the agendas and they realized that they weren't on the agenda.
Correct.
The ones that were backdated. They were work that was performed, but they should have been on the agenda. And they just found out that they,
There are times when there's just a price increase, I can just stamp that the price increase comes up. These are not, they come out for a new year, 1-year contract. I talked to Mary and then so we send them over and prove them that way.
okay.
And lastly, last week, I think we're all aware the governor was in town for promote some funding for education, one of the local daycares, which is phenomenal. Mr. Hetherington had a very unique interaction with Mr. Shapiro in explaining who he was and from where, and stated that he was the commissioner where sexual harassment lawsuit is. It appalled quite a few people at that event. I got quite a few messages and calls about it. They were blown away that Mr. Hetherington thinks that's a joke, that he can say that to the governor, and it's funny.
It was a private conversation, sir.
It wasn't private, it was in public. I got phone calls from several people. It was definitely not private, and that's nothing to joke about, so you're admitting that.
He asked what was going on, I said we're involved in section, that's all I said.
It was not said that.
Sexual harassment.
That's fine. You enabled,
Finish your,
okay, you enabled Jane Doe 5 along with Mr. Bender. You were sitting in that seat. You allowed it to happen, okay? It's not a joking matter. The whole lawsuit's not a joking matter. You had 2 women suspended improperly for years without pay, while that creep sat in the chair that you're in, getting paid, and still terrorizing women that Jane Doe 5 happened, when you could have barred him from the courthouse, which you refused to. It's nothing to joke about. The trial starts when? March 24th?
It was not a joke.
March 24th, the trial starts. You're lucky you don't get drug into it.
He asked me what was going on, I told him.
You're gonna be drug into Jane Doe number 5, so I hope you're liable for that.
Good morning, Commissioners.
good morning.
My name is Michaela Galnitz. I'm the Executive Chairwoman for Youth Empowerment Support and the founder and executive producer of Schuylkill County Pride Fest. Mr. Bender knows very well. He was there last year when I had Senator,
Mr.
then
Hess.
Senator,
Mr. Bender, Mr. Hess.
I'm sorry,
Mr. Hess.
yeah, Mr. Hess.
You said Mr. Bender.
He said Mr. Bender.
You drove that name right into my mind. Mr. Hess, my apologies. Yes, you were there when I had Senator Bob Casey there as a guest speaker last year. So what I'm proposing today is not going to cost the county any money, but it could save the mental health of a community. That community I'm talking about, of course, is the LGBTQ community. Now, you know, Pride Fest, as soon as I get my notes up. Okay, Pride Fest is more than just an event. It's a symbol of acceptance, support, and belonging for the LGBTQ community, individuals, families, and our allies, which we have plenty of allies and backing support in our community, more than you probably realize, and I can stand here and talk about that all day, but I'm going to stick to the point. Now, by recognizing this event, we affirm that Schuylkill County is a place where everyone is valued, regardless of their background or their identity. Do I create an economic and cultural impact? Yes, I have. I brought businesses, individuals, performers from across the state of Pennsylvania, our bordering states, and as well as esteemed guest speakers. John Fetterman, Malcolm Kenyatta has been with us. Gary, you joined us last year. So this is a forum for us to give people hope with a capital H-O-P-E. Local vendors, restaurants, and hotels benefit from increased foot traffic at Pride Fest. And yes, I did receive a sizable grant from the Pennsylvania State Board of Tourism in recognition of the work that I've completed, my board has completed, and the business we bring to Schuylkill County is growing in each calendar year. We're bringing more people into this county that come to celebrate and defend our basic human rights. And on that note, I would like to say, anybody who's sitting in this room who's got the inside track to the ear of our state and U.S. representatives, please tell them to stop killing trans kids. It happens. It happened a couple of weeks ago with a veteran who was discharged for being transgender or non-binary. They found him swinging in the VA garage, parking garage, with a trans flag draped around him. Why? Because of this unfair ejection of trans people out of the military. I am an Air Force veteran. I am transgender, and I am very passionate about my existence in this world. I'm here to make a difference. I came back from California to Schuylkill County not knowing where I was going to be. This is where I am today. This is what I've accomplished. Okay, so what I'm asking is a proclamation from the Schuylkill County Commissioners to recognize Pride Fest as a legitimate, functioning, and very important event that happens every June on Pride Month. There is nothing DEI, which is being erased, is important. And I want each of you commissioners to think about this question. What is it that you hate about diversity, inclusion, and equity? What is it that you hate about a little child, their family, and their physician choosing, making their own choices, and leaving the government out of it? Because the government and its officials are killing our community. Slowly but surely, start looking at the hate legislation throughout the country. Look at what Iowa's doing today. Look at what Texas has done, Florida has done, Arkansas has done. I just hope that one of you three, or all three, will join in a proclamation to ease the burden. I have written out the proclamation for you in language that speaks to our community. And I hope that there are allies in this room today that agree with me. Please make Schuylkill County Pride Fest an official event for our community, not only the queer community, but our allies who support. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Is there any other public comment?
I'd like to make one, 2 weeks ago on Thursday, we had an emergency drill in the county, and I see Sean Butler, Sean was to provide security. Scott's here, he was part of that group, our EMS people. We had folks here from Pike County, Bucks County, Berks County, or who else, Scott? What we had?
Delaware.
Delaware. I did hear back that the event was a mock disaster with heavy rain with several accidents. There was a mock plane crash near Indiantown Gap and an explosion at a factory. And all three commissioners did attend, and to sit there and watch our organizations work together and get through that was pretty amazing. My understanding that the evaluator came back with a couple of suggestions, but pretty much a gold star for the whole operation. If you wanted to say something, Scott, why?
No, I heard the same thing, Commissioner.
So I want to commend our sheriff's office for helping. I want to commend Scott and his crew, and also JB and that gang, and our fire chiefs association president was here, our firefighters association. Like I say, it was very intriguing to sit there and watch the whole thing take place. And Larry, if you want to ask something, Gary, why?
No, it was good. They practice for these events, for God forbid that it does happen, that they're prepared and ready to go. Hopefully, nothing like this ever happens, but to know our team can work together, sit down, function as a unit throughout Schuylkill County and surrounding counties, and work together if a catastrophe like this would happen. you know, you prepare for the worst and hope it never happens, and that's what they did that night. They did a great job. It was very interesting to watch, to see the interactions between all the different services and all the different functions, and police and fire and rescue and everything. To see how it's all coordinated was really interesting, and they did a great job, and I just appreciate the time and dedication they put into that.
It did a lot over the years. This is not the first exercise that they've done. They simulated other exercises over the many years, especially when the nuclear plants were online. Susquehanna is still there. 3 Mile Island is down. They don't do that, but now there's talk of that coming back up. But they'll go through simulations of all of that just in case. As you know, not this winter, the winter before, we had that terrible accident up on 81. And the way they handle things was nothing but professional, the best that they could. Lives were taken away, and that includes everybody. Our emergency management, 911, EMS, our first responders, all across the board were there at the call. And that's the reason why they do this, and that's why a lot of these folks are volunteers. Some of them, yes, some of them do get paid and are paid professional, but a lot of them are volunteers. So again, is Schuylkill County safe? I can feel that I can say that it is, and it's in good hands all across the board. So they've done an excellent job for many years, and it will continue on. So if you see them out there, your first responders, anywhere from what I just mentioned, say thank you. That's the biggest part that you can do. It's time for Al.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Al.
I'm Albert Grykowski, Director of Schuylkill County Voter Registration and Election Bureau. Today I'm requesting approval to pay the Election Systems and Software Company, ES&S, an annual hardware maintenance agreement for the period of April 1st, 2025 through March 31st, 2026 in the amount of $116,780. This annual service contract includes the hardware and maintenance agreement for the DS450s, extended warranty and biannual maintenance, which is $4,540. The firmware license for the DS450 is $3,590. We have 2 of those machines. The hardware maintenance agreement for the DS200, extended warranty with biannual maintenance, is $27,000. We have 150 of those machines. The Expressware PYO standard renewal license fee is $38,900. The hardware maintenance agreement with the ExpressVote 1/2.1 BMD extended warranty with biannual maintenance is $17,250. Again, we have 150 of those machines. Firmware license ExpressVote 1/2.1 BMD is $11,250. And the firmware license for the DS200 is $14,250, which adds up to the $116,780. If you took that, did a little bit of math there's 302 machines that are renewed and biannually maintained by the ES&S. So that's less than $400. It's actually $386.69, an average for all 302 machines that are being maintained by the ES&S. The contract for this was done in 2019 when you first purchased the machines, and there was a 5-year agreement. That agreement was up last year. I was not aware of that, or else it would have been part of our annual budget. So here forward, this will be part of our annual budget, but today I must request for his approval. Thank you.
Mental health, local services, drug and alcohol.
Morning.
Good morning.
Seeking an approval for an agreement with Prosper Brothers General Contractors Incorporated in the amount that exceed $57,479.81 to replace flooring for the mental health, wellness, or some drug and alcohol office at the 410 North Center Street building. The term of this agreement is from February 26, 2025 to June 30th, 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Juvenile Information Officer.
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Jim Kettner, Juvenile Probation.
Today, we're requesting approval to purchase a 2024 Ford Police Interceptor utility SUV from Sands Ford of Pottsville, a co-star vendor for the Juvenile Justice Department for the purpose of transporting juveniles to and from placement, shelter, detention facilities, and community service work sites. The annual 4-year lease payment of $11,811.72 will be made by a Mock Chunk Trust Company of Tamaqua at a total cost of $47,246.88. All expenses are paid from the juvenile training account at no expense to the county. Thank you.
Veterans Affairs Office, Brenda?
Morning, Brandon.
Good morning. Veterans Affairs, I'm Brenda Sackman. I'm here to seek approval for the co-op agreement to purchase the flags for Memorial Day. We're in with 2 other counties. The cost of the flags are 82 cents per flag. I will be receiving 39,600 flags at a total cost of $32,472. I'll be receiving them in April, and I do a distribution in May for all the organizations to put them on the graves. I give away 37,000, keep 600 for the veterans that die throughout the year.
Okay.
Thank you.
Domestic Relations?
Morning.
Good morning, Melissa Hayes, Director of Domestic Relations. Motion is hereby requested for approval for Melissa Hayes and Michelle Spolsky to attend the 62nd Annual ARIXA Training Conference in Norfolk, Virginia from May 18th through May 22nd, 2025. The total cost for this conference and travel will not exceed $3,000 and will include 4 overnight stays. The total cost for the conference and all related travel will be paid from the Domestic Relations Incentive Funds and would be at no cost to the county.
Review?
Morning, Commissioner. Morning, Carl.
Good morning. Carl Rumble, Children and Youth. Today we're requesting approval of an agreement with Pathways Adolescent Center, Oil City, Pennsylvania for residential and transitional living services with per diem rates as follows. The Pathways program is at $253.70. Their Pathways Enhanced program is at $406.69. New Beginnings programming for girls is at $275.24. The enhanced version is at $438.83. The transitional living program is at a per diem of $289.03. Shelter care is at $385. Their emergency shelter program is at $615. And complex cases are at a per diem of $1,451.35. And this agreement is for the term July 1, 2024 to June 30th, 2025.
Public Works?
Morning, Kevin.
Good morning. Kevin Mayhall, Public Works. I'm here this morning for the approval to enter an agreement with CoStar's vendor Houck & Company, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, to provide setting and profiling of various historic floor tiles in the courthouse. This was an emergency repair for the historic restoration of cost of $17,350. There's an additional cost of $285 or more for profiling trip edges, and this agreement is termed from February 12, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Kevin, explain the $285.
What that is you're actually taking one of the old tiles, you're grinding it down, and you have to refinish it then.
Okay.
So it's a combination of everything, it's a process.
Okay. Coal-Mine Real Estate?
Kyle Sweats, Solid Waste and Coal Mines. Today we are requesting approval to renew and amend the following coal leases: 05C3, 02C3, 55, 57, 06C7, 08C1, 11C2, 06C6, 09C2, and 04L3. This will prohibit the use of biosolids in the restoration process, enforce the original agreed-to planting schedules, and encompass new monthly minimum royalty in accordance with the approved fee schedule changes. The leases will have an auto-renew clause of succeeding 1-year terms with a 60-day written non-renewal notice.
Grant writers?
Morning, Cheryl.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Today I'm seeking approval to advertise for a CDBG ADA project at the Summit Station Park in Wayne Township. Bids will be done via pen bid and must be submitted by 9 a.m. on Wednesday, April 9th, 2025, at which time they will be opened.
Court administration?
Morning, John.
Good morning. John Richmond for Court Administration. I'm submitting for approval an agreement with Johnson Controls to enhance our courthouse security by adding card readers to our courtrooms and to secure hallways upstairs. The full amount was budgeted by Court Administration in the 2025 court security budget. The total amount of proposal is $61,288.36. We will be reimbursed by the Administrative Office of the Pennsylvania Courts by $30,000.
Courts and district justices?
Morning.
Morning. Morning. Amy O'Brien, Civil Deputy Court Administrator. I'm here on behalf of the district courts. We're submitting approval for 3 proposals to enhance security for 3 of our MDJ offices. For interior doors, doors locked down with panic buttons, and new card reader access. The total cost of the proposals is $49,684.60. The amount was budgeted for 2025, and we're receiving 100% reimbursement from the Administrative Office of Pennsylvania Courts. There will be nothing, no expenditure will be allotted to the county.
911 communications?
Morning, Scott.
Morning, Commissioners. Looking for approval next week for a motion to enter into contract with Ahead Incorporated, Chicago, Illinois, and under IT contract number there 44000480. It's for managed services, troubleshooting, monitoring, patch, and maintain 3 hardware servers that we have within the communication center. And the agreement will be for 12 months, January 1, 2025, December 31, 2025, and cost is $3,950 per month.
Good morning, Commissioners. Paul Dottie, County Solicitor. I'm here with Scott Crater, Director of 911. We're seeking today a motion jointly by County 911 and the County Solicitor's Office that the Board of County Commissioners approve and authorize the execution and delivery of a memorandum of understanding with Northumberland County to establish a collaborative framework between Northumberland County and Schuylkill County for the shared operation and management of a public safety answering point to enhance emergency response services for both counties to be substantially in the form presented at the meeting, and that the board further authorize the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners to execute the memorandum of understanding on behalf of the county. In a nutshell, this is designed to coordinate and consolidate emergency response, and is designed to create efficiency and cost savings for both counties. The Northumberland County Board of Commissioners approved the memorandum of understanding yesterday, and we received the signed version of the memorandum of understanding from Northumberland this morning. For that reason, we're requesting a motion at this time. Scott's also here to answer any questions you may have.
This is something we've been working on since January. It'll increase services for both counties, and it'll also, we gotta look for unique ways to save revenue. And this is a way to do it for both counties. The duplication of services throughout every county, municipality, school district is one of the ways that a county and those places are able to save money, is consolidation of services. This will help generate more funding for Northumberland County and Schuylkill County, and be a benefit for both counties with no interruption of services, and it'll be a benefit for both of us. I really believe this is a way to enhance services for both counties, and it's a way for both counties to work together, and hopefully it leads to future collaborations with other counties or Northumberland County, because it's a unique way to think outside the box to save money, to increase revenue to each county.
If I could make a comment, I was at a CCAC convention a year and a half ago, and attended a PEMA presentation. They were encouraging any county with less than 300,000 residents should try some way to combine. I came back and told Larry about it, and he's been at it. He's been spending a lot of time in Northumberland County, San Chigatano. I commend Commissioner for, he's spent many trips out there, and a couple afternoons making this work. The bottom line is, if I'm saying the wrong thing, Scott, people would like, anybody with less than 300,000 residents to do a combination. This is the time is right. Northumberland County has a bad location where they're at. Their equipment needs to be upgraded, so it's just a perfect fit. I want to commend Larry. He's really put a lot into it and gone to bat for us and got it done, so I appreciate it, Mr. Fedora, so.
Yes, along, I've made a couple trips with Larry, myself out to Northumberland, met with their commissioners. And again, as you look in the past and things moving forward, consolidation on a lot of things and intermunicipal agreements and so forth, you need to start combining and start saving costs. Rather than having 10 out there, you can cut it down and all entities could save money. It just seen Brenda here today and her collaboration with a number of counties, just with the flags, that saves money on a needed type thing. We were just at a banquet Saturday night, we're up in McAdoo, where 2 other companies, one outside the county and actually 2 within the county, has got together and consolidated. I remember that first banquet when I attended a number of years ago, there was only maybe half of a room. This room was full. And again, it brings more people, more revenue, more sources, and that's what we're definitely looking at. So I know Larry's been taking the lead on this and the talk. So again, moving this forward, I think is all gonna be a good plus for the county, and hopefully with other resources also of looking at it, some consolidations with that, so.
Scott, can you explain that like a little bit more? Are they gonna be taking calls in Northumberland?
Well, we're gonna, that's all having to be worked out yet. This memorandum of
This is
understanding
for a
just allows
feasibility.
us to get the ball rolling.
And it's for a feasibility study
To see,
to see if it can be done.
but you have to take that first
Oh, yeah,
step.
right.
And this is the first step into that, and you all know, one of the reasons we had to raise taxes this year was $2.4 million in funding for 911, that was $1 million. So any way we can save money, we're trying to think outside the box to save revenue and money for the county and provide the same or if not better service. So it'll benefit both counties, and I honestly hope this is a collaboration. Eventually, they're gonna force consolidation. We're ahead of the curve. So, and I hope this entices other counties to look at consolidating with us on other avenues that we can work together, because then it'll be a cost savings more across the board. We're limited on what we can do to increase revenue to the county, and this is one way to try to do it, to cut costs.
And PEMA is directly involved in the process. They'll be working with both counties. They're providing financial incentive for feasibility studies and things of that nature. So it's, I think, a good collaborative effort, a good deal all the way around.
If I'm wrong, Scott, help me out, but when we do the cell phone payment each month, 85% goes out in disbursements, 15% is put in a special fund. We will be, once we're doing this combination, we were allowed to pull out of that 15% to do a new building or different equipment. But once again, like Mr. Hess said, it's a feasibility study, but the bottom line is we're going in the right direction, so.
Yeah, 85% is what comes directly to the county.
But we can do cap to 15.
Yeah, and then the other 15% goes to, 83%, 2% for administrative, and then 15% for collaborative. I get that.
And again,
Forgot that 2%.
and again, in no way, I remember that thing is gonna sunset at the end of this year.
Yeah,
And the
there's-
new formula, so again, if you're talking to our legislators, they're the ones that have the ears to PEMA and put the budget and so forth where they can put it up a little bit more. That's definitely gonna help, not only this consolidation, but also other counties across the state. So, that's a big thing too, so hopefully that'll be in the talks also. But this is a good move to be ahead of the thing, so.
Thank you.
We asked for a motion at this time.
Okay.
I'll make that motion, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
and Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Everything that falls with informational items, we'll read, public defenders.
Yep, public defender is a supplemental budget appropriation resolution for the current year, and that provides budgetary authority for grant funding that has been received. And we are asking for this time.
Can I have a motion for approval of resolution 2025-01?
So moved, sir.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
And Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Frank, you wanna come up and explain?
Yes, we'd like the commissioners to consider the adoption of a resolution associated with an economic development project in East Union Township. It's actually within the Humboldt Industrial Park, and that park happens to straddle both Luzerne County and Schuylkill County. This would involve a 7-acre tract of property that's part of a much larger tract, with a larger portion of it being in Luzerne County. The East Union Township supervisors, along with the Hazleton Area School District, took action to adopt resolutions adopting the LERTA program for that particular site on both the Schuylkill County side as well as the Luzerne County side. LERTA has been obviously a very effective tool to encourage economic development, construction of new buildings, job creating activities throughout Schuylkill County. 15 communities currently have it in place. So our request to the commissioners would be the adoption of a resolution associated with paralleling what the East Union Township supervisors and the Hazleton Area School District adopted to create that incentive.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
So moved, sir.
Second.
The question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
And Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Approve the request to ratify the designated approved contract for the month of February 2025. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
The question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
And Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Gary, you want to read on behalf of the NEPA Alliance?
Yep, on behalf of NEPA Alliance, approval to recommend the reappointment of Micah Gursky, Director of Development at St. Luke's Hospital, Miners Campus, and Bud Quandell, President of Quandell Enterprises, to the NEPA Alliance Board of Directors. Next, on behalf of Schuylkill County Parks and Recreation, approval to submit a grant application to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania DCED to build a pavilion at the Frog Hollow Nature Area in Friedensburg, PA. Grant requires a 15% match, will be provided by the Friends of Sweet Arrow Lake.
Human Resources?
Morning, Commissioners. And tax assessment, we have a transfer of Jennifer Keatsock, positions clerk typist 2, the rate is 15.6047, effective 3/10/25. She's coming from the pool, the rate is per the contract. In addition, we have informational items. 3, the Sheriff's Office, the transfer of Timothy Reinhold, Sergeant Security, 3/10/25, effective date, coming from another Sergeant Civil, no change in pay. The promotion of Joseph Cazzoni, Sergeant Civil, effective 3/10/25, coming from Deputy, rate is per the contract. And the appointment of Haley Fell as an unpaid intern, effective 3/3/25, to end approximately 5/1/25. In court administration, the appointment of Lena Seltzer as a secretary 2, effective date is 3/17/25. And in domestic relations, the appointment of Sarah Rosigliano, 3/17/25, rate is per the contract. All appointments are pending drug test and physical where appropriate, and all actions involving salary or positions being created are pending salary board approval.
Can I have a motion for the tax assessment transfer?
So moved, tax assessment.
Second.
The question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
And Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Is there any new business? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Salary board, report of any executive sessions?
There were none held.
Public comment for salary board? Human Resource Office?
In the Sheriff's Office, eliminate the position of Deputy Sheriff, effective 3/10/25, and create the position of Sergeant Security, effective 3/10/25. In Court Administration, set salary for Lena Seltzer, Secretary 2, the rate is 15.0924, effective 3/17/25. That is all.
Can I have a motion for the 2 sheriff office positions?
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship.
Yes.
And Deputy Sheriff Butler.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, sir.